My presentation is on censorship in China. So why China censors their information from their people? They either want to stop the people of China from accessing information that goes on in their own country, or they want to restrict or distort information about the rest of the world and isolate Chinese citizens from conversations with outsiders. So I have three examples of some of the things that you can't find on the Chinese internet. So the 1989, the Tiananmen Square protests. These protests were student-led demonstrations calling for democracy, free speech, and free press in China. The Chinese ended up fighting back, killing thousands of protesters and arresting about 10,000 people. They also hide the practicing of Falun Gong, which is a type of religion, and they also hide the re-education camps in Xinjiang. Now I have a timeline of the internet censorship that goes on throughout the years. So it starts off in 2003 when they implemented the Great Firewall of China. So that's this advanced system that limits internet content. They could block websites, individual phrases, words, and even characters. In 2010, there was the first white paper on the internet. So this requires all internet users in China to abide to Chinese laws and regulations. In 2019, they blocked Wikipedia in all languages. In 2020, they made a law banning Chinese citizens from speaking negatively about their country on the internet. And in 2021, they passed a law that banned defamation against military personnel. So no organizations or individuals can insult or undermine military personnel on the internet in any way. So how free is China? China has almost every social media blocked. For example, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat cannot be accessed in China. In 2016, Freedom House ranked China last for the second consecutive year out of 64 countries, and Reporters Without Borders ranked China 176 out of 180 countries in its 2016 Worldwide Index of Press Freedom. So China is very, very big into basketball, and an incident that occurred in 2019 during the NBA preseason games while they were played in Shanghai. The Houston Rockets manager, Daryl Morey, he made a tweet that contained the slogan, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." Immediately following this, the Rockets were blacklisted from the streaming services and broadcasting deals. Rockets merchandise was pulled off the shelves, they canceled sponsorships with the teams and its players, and they threatened further sanction against the league. About a year later, during the 2020 Chinese broadcast of the NBA All-Star Game, the Rockets logo was on the jersey of James Harden was censored out. So this is one of the examples of how China easily can censor information from their people. There's a social credit system. So they have cameras put in place that monitors everyone. It has face recognition, so when an image pops up, they can assign a face. They can assign a name and personal data to each face. Each person in this has 1,000 points in their account. So for every action that goes on in your life, you can either gain or lose points. So an example of how they censor information and they prevent people from going against the government is if you try to criticize the president on social media, they will take points away and you won't be able to have certain professions. So you won't be able to become a police officer, a teacher, or a political leader. Another example of how they punish you if you go against the Chinese. So if you post something that is very bad to the Chinese people, they could send you to Xinjiang, which is these concentration camps that re-educate you. They have forced labor, it's very high security. So this is just another example of how they try to stop you from posting information they don't want you to post. And then these are my references.